How have you been? Sorry. Let's just get into it. Hold on. Boom. There we go. Can we just do the episode? I just want to do the episode.
Can we just fucking
Yeah, I just want
get
to do
on
the
with
episode.
it, please?
What? 102. We're not done yet. We're in the hundreds, triple digits. It's not as fun as I thought it'd be.
He's over the honeymoon phase, everyone.
Now I'm a podcaster. Are you serious? 102. I'm a fucking podcaster.
Yeah, officially, yeah.
My back hurts.
I like that the honeymoon phase for our podcast was 100
100 episodes. After that, full downhill. It took a swift nosedive.
This is when we stop giving a shit,
Yeah.
everyone.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
No.
We're all just here until we're not. We're all just potting until we cast. My name is Mitch. Thanks for listening. This is All the Space in Between.
I'm Billy. Welcome to our show. We're recording this very late. Again. Once again. We're a little bit tired. We're a little bit sock-brained, but we're here and we're bringing it to you, and that's the important part.
I always say that I want to record them earlier. We hop on the call earlier. We do the whole thing earlier, and then we literally just speak to each other for about 4 hours before we hit record, you know?
Yeah, it's a nasty little habit of ours, is speaking for 4 hours.
Yeah, we do that a lot. And
we do that accidentally.
You're talking over me again. You do that a lot on the show and in real life.
Well, yeah, that's another one of my bad
I was going to
habits.
say that I love you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say it, but I'm not going to say it anymore.
Past tense was going to say that I loved you.
Oh my god, no! He's been interrupted one too many times.
We got 3 questions on this show that follows a delicious little format of a start question, a fart question, and an art question. And we'll jump into it in a second. I like to do a little small talking. We didn't do a bit at the beginning, so...
Well, our bit was that we didn't do a bit, I think.
Well, yeah, I just kind of did that for you on the spot.
Yeah.
You can tell me how you've been if you actually want to.
I'm fine.
No, well, it's the... I feel like we haven't talked enough in the 4 hours since. How was your... What was the first meal that you had today?
The first meal? Oh my god.
Yeah, sorry, my finger slipped. Hold on, we're gonna do one more. And boom, there we go. We got 2 of those in one episode. I'm gonna stop that there.
It's so annoying. It was a bagel with peanut butter and tomato, if you have to know.
I didn't. It was just for the joke I was making.
I'd just like to remind everyone that's my favorite bagel combination, and I'm proud of it.
Okay, this is All the Space in Between. This is a podcast, an advice podcast about solving your little pickles, about crunching into your little briny conundrums that you send us every week on this show, whether it be about, I don't know, art, shitting yourself, and all the space in between.
All the space in between those two topics.
Isn't that what the podcast is? Is that what it's called for, right?
It's for the it's a spectrum, really. Is what we're referring to, the spectrum between the two polar points of art and shitting yourself.
And maybe they're not so far from each other after all.
Ah, like a horseshoe theory. Yeah.
Does this sound like ASMR when I do this? Hold on.
It's quite quiet to be ASMR.
Hold on. Well, it's going to be louder when I mix it.
All right, well, come closer to the microphone.
Me or it?
You come closer to the microphone, and then down a little bit, and then bring the scissors right up to just about where your forehead is, and then try snipping.
Okay. And
right into the fringe area.
Hair's getting in my mouth. You make me give myself turf bangs on the show.
You give yourself a stupid little fringe.
You gave yourself a stupid little fringe today.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of making you do it.
So I can have the same
alone.
wonky bangs as you. No, thank you. I can't pull them off.
I decided that I wanted to emphasize my best feature, which is my forehead.
Your forehead, yeah.
Yeah, how large it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how it's cool to have a large ass? How about this? My girl got a big old forehead.
My got a juicy forehead.
Yeah,
everyone.
she's got a lot. I guess it would be in the hood. Not the trunk, but
as opposed to the
trunk. Not the trunk. The hood. Right in the front.
Bonnet. Yeah.
Yeah. Nikki also had a gargantuan forehead.
Yeah, but she had the ass to pull it off.
She did. Can we talk about my ex's ass? Can we do that on the show? God.
Legally, no.
God, I miss her.
I know.
3 questions on this show.
Yes.
I'm Mitch.
You are.
You're Billy.
I'm Billy.
Every week we come in and answer these questions. Thank you guys so much for listening. I do want to say at the beginning, though, please send in more questions for the show.
Yes.
We have a lot of back catalog, and we'll like dig through it, but we more than likely will answer like new questions every episode and don't go back unless we need to.
Yes.
So I like to have like a lot to choose from. So if you have a question that you would like us to answer on the show about anything at all, just be a funny story. It could be about shitting yourself. It could be about pissing yourself in class. We get a lot of those for some reason.
Yeah.
It could be advice that you need about a relationship. It could be about art. It can be about the show. It can be about anything at all. You can send us an email to our very convenient and easy to remember email. It is
all the space in between at gmail.com. Please do send us some fresh pickles to bite into. We do have the preserved kind, but we prefer the fresh ones. Thank you.
Sometimes you just need a little bread and butter. Are that what they called? A little bread and butter pickle? Did I make that up? Is that a pickle?
No. Yeah, that's real.
Like a fresh little fridge pickle.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want this
fresh little burger
briny Bubby's style. It's the second time I've mentioned that brand on the show, but they're good. Am I reading the first one?
You are reading the first one.
Okay.
All right then.
All right, a good start question here. This is just called a pregnancy question. And it goes there's no hey or anything. I'm just not noticing that. There's no intro.
It gets right
but
to
it's
it.
Just, it just goes 0 to 100. It's called pregnancy question, and it just says, if Billy gets pregnant of Mitch, will she still be a guest on the podcast, or will she leave to not work so much? Like, dealing with Mitch on the podcast must take a lot of insanity and balls. And when your child is 10, will they appear on the podcast? Imagine them at school, like, and then this is a, what type of art is this called?
ascii art.
Ascii art?
Yeah.
ascii art. I've never said that word aloud, but it's ascii art of Sonic the Hedgehog. Really big, and he's saying, shut the fuck up. My dad wrote, you wrote Don't Forget on your arm. I guess I'll screenshot that and I'll put it here for the YouTube video and also for the website if you want to check out what we're looking at on the show. We always put it there now. I'm going to take it away.
If you would like to see some text art of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Saying, shut the fuck up. My dad wrote, you wrote Don't Forget on your arm. Which is what my child will say. My child won't take shit from anybody because I wrote, you said okay. I did. I wrote my heart. What are you laughing at? I'm sorry.
It's true.
Did something funny happen?
No, it's true.
I wrote I exist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna let you look down on me for it. I want you to look up to me for it.
No. Okay.
I don't want it to go to my head.
May I look at you sideways for it?
Like at the same level as you?
Yeah, at the same level, but also like I'm side-eyeing you a bit.
No wall-eyeing me because of because of my accomplishments. Okay? I won't be wall-eyed because of that.
Okay. All right.
I wrote... Can't think of another song.
He's forgotten his songs now. He can't think of them.
There's like... Chamomile is a recent one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did a cover, and it doesn't count. Sorry.
No, you didn't write that.
Oh.
No.
You said okay.
Yeah, we said that one.
Fucking A, that doesn't matter. I wrote those songs. Okay. This is not a question, but I'm still going to ask you when you get pregnant.
That's not what it said.
Of my volition.
It did not say when.
When you get pregnant. This is what it says right here. It says when you get pregnant. Spring 2022.
Oh my god.
And birth my amazing daughter.
Oh God.
And Amina? What was it?
Amine.
Amine.
Yeah.
Anima backwards. When you birth my little daughter, Amine
Yes.
Earhart, the Beast, Welling.
Where did Earhart come from?
I just think it's a cool middle name.
Fair enough.
Earhart.
Fair enough.
Like Amelia.
Okay. Yeah,
Amelia is a great first name for a daughter.
Mitch is gonna name his daughter Amelia.
Amelia Earhart. And then not my last name. That doesn't sound good with Welling at the end. Just Amelia Earhart. First and last name.
Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to call my daughter Amelia Earhart?
Yeah. Can I change my daughter's last name?
Yeah.
To be not my last name.
Yeah. You can give a child whatever name you like.
That can't be true.
It is true.
I could just name my son like Brad Pitt.
I think so.
I think someone would have to step in and say why.
Well, perhaps. I don't know. I know people will like, sometimes they'll like merge, not double barrel their name, but they'll like make a portmanteau of their names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Charlie Brad Pitt Welling or something, right?
No, I mean, if you got two parents, say your last name's Welling, my last name is Blossom.
Oh, they'll just mix them.
But yeah, not into Welling Blossom, but into like Wassum.
That's the worst idea. Is to create a just like to just like create a ship name for your child.
Yes.
That's terrible. Blelling. Blelling.
Blelling. Yeah.
Amelia Blelling. That's what you want. Art.
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying it's an option.
Well, actually, your last name isn't Blossom though. That's that's a part of your first name.
That's for me to know and for you to find out.
So it would be, and I'm not going to tell people your last name. It's by the way. You're like his last surviving kin, you know? You have direct blood.
Excuse you.
To
considering my last name is from my Jewish side, absolutely excuse you.
I mean, you call him 80.
Get away from me.
Your great uncle.
Get on with what 80. You were saying.
It wouldn't just be like Brelling. That's what it would be. Brelling.
Yeah.
That's a terrible last name. It's a terrible idea for anybody to do it.
Well, I'm just saying, you can do it. You can do it.
Okay.
But back to the question at hand.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Do the mother and father still keep their last names? Individually?
That's up to them.
We're just a family of all different last names.
Yeah. You could be, if you want. Anything's possible.
I hate it. Do you think it takes a lot of insanity and balls to be my co-host? Which you're not anymore. You're a... I mean, you are. Sorry. You're a co-host to be a guest.
Oh my god. You were about to demote me again.
I mean, it's just so... Like, it rolls off my tongue.
Insanity and balls. That's a rare combination. But I'd say that I have both, yeah. I'd say that it takes both. And I'd like to see someone else try and do it.
That's her balls coming out.
Yeah. And my insanity.
Okay. Are we good for a real question now?
Let's answer it properly. If Billy gets pregnant of Mitch, weird way to say it, will she still be a guest on the podcast or will she leave to work? Not so much. It won't happen, so don't worry about it. That's my question. That's my answer. I don't need to get pregnant of Mitch because we already have this podcast and the podcast is our baby.
Ooh, I love that answer.
There you go. That's fine. So, okay, now we can answer a real question. By which I mean... a horrible, horrible little story that someone sent us.
All right. You read it. I'm sleepy.
Oh my god. Okay, well it's not a bedtime story. Don't start closing. Don't open your eyes.
Okay.
He's closing his eyes.
I hate being on Skype. I can't get away with shit anymore. I used to be able to just close my eyes and rest them. I'm resting my eyes. I'm not even closing them.
Okay, all right. This one is called Shitty Architecture, pun intended. And it goes, Hello and congratulations on 100 or 101 now, I guess, episodes. I'm so glad you guys made it all this way. Today I come to you pickleless, but not shitless or pissless. Recently I stumbled upon a memory that at the time felt very normal, but now not so much. In my elementary school, rather than having the classrooms and bathrooms separate, like any normal facility, the bathrooms were in the classrooms? Now, I don't mean a whole bathroom, but there was a single stall and a sink sitting in the corner of each classroom. Absolutely zero privacy. You knew who was going and what they were doing in the bathroom at all times. Sometimes after someone shit, if your desk was close enough to the stall, you could smell it. Other times we'd be in the middle of silent reading and hear a stream of piss hitting the water. I'm pretty sure the teachers use it too. I remember only using it when desperate, trying so hard to be quiet, and the absolute feeling of shame that came over you when you walked out of the bathroom and all your classmates looked up. Despite these negative feelings that came with the stall, I thought it was a completely ordinary thing at the time. I recently asked a few friends if their elementary schools had this, and they said no, and were very weirded out by the concept. I just can't wrap my head around that some architect thought it was a good idea to have kids know exactly the what, where, and when of the substances exiting their classmates. I guess it stops kids from wasting time in the bathroom, but I don't think it's worth it. You two are the only ones that I can think of to share this with, so enjoy processing with me, I guess. Did any of your schools have this? Thank you. Sorry if this email's long. This person's name.
Interesting.
Your
school had a little corner stall.
No, it didn't.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Don't tell
There was
this.
no stall door. It was like a prison toilet.
It was out in the open.
Yeah, isn't that how you're?
It was less of a toilet, and it was more of just a corner. It was more just a corner of carpet
with a weird little hole at the bottom where there should have been a toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where everyone.
Just a hole in the floor.
We called it the squat corner. So you could go there for anything. You could go there for silent reading, to shit. It was whatever you wanted it to be.
Playtime. Yeah, whatever.
No,
whatever.
this is weird.
Of course this is weird.
This is an odd thing to happen in a classroom. Okay, in my in elementary school, specifically kindergarten and only in kindergarten, we had like an ensuite bathroom. So like attached to our classroom or the classrooms up there that were just for kindergartners. We had our own playground. We had our own bathroom.
Yes.
We had a maid. We had naps.
A maid?
We had sort of
a butler?
Yeah, it was more of he brought like artisanal sandwiches.
Oh my god, a chef.
Yeah. So there was like a cooking corner there. I'm very wealthy. I'm a very wealthy little guy. No, we had like an ensuite bathroom, and I think that was only so like kindergartners who are like 5 years old can't like just walk around the campus or have to walk to the bathroom or go to the larger playground. So we had our own small playground and our own ensuite, and that's the closest I had to it. And even that I didn't like very much, to have to just be like, can I go to the bathroom? And then people see me entering the bathroom, and then they see me leave the bathroom, and then it just seems strange. This is
they already know. Yeah, they already know where you've been and for how long. But they don't know quite for what. At least you have that. You've got that 1 degree of separation. But they don't know for what. Yeah.
Well, actually, no, they don't know in the ensuite. It was like a big, heavy door. Like, you couldn't hear what was happening in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
You had that 1 degree of separation.
Oh, all right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No one knew what I was doing. Let's make that clear.
No.
Okay.
But, okay, so in my primary school, which is elementary school for Americans, we had like an ensuite thing up till year 2, 2nd grade.
Okay.
And after that, you just went to whatever one. But we had a little ensuite in our classroom that was like in a cupboard, and it had 2 toilets in it.
Tell people what a cupboard is, so we don't think that it was in an actual American cupboard, please.
Like a kitchen cabinet.
Yeah, like a pantry. We had to stand on a counter and crawl up to the cupboard.
No, more like how you'd have like a coat cupboard or something. You know, just a small off room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within the main room.
Okay.
Yeah. But there were 2 toilets in there, and I found it very exciting because one of them was a normal toilet, and one of them was very, very small.
Yeah, I love when that happens.
It was tiny.
Hell yeah.
And it was kind of too small for the grade that we were in, so like you'd feel really big when you sat on it, and that was a lot of fun. But anyway, no, it was separated with a wall and a door and then a cubicle. I've never in my life just seen a cubicle in a room, like in a classroom.
Right. So let's get this straight. This is literally your whole classroom's the bathroom at that point, right?
Yeah.
Because when you walk into a bathroom, there are stalls and toilets. And stalls, there's stalls. There's all that gap at the bottom. There's nothing on top. And then there's all those like cracks in them and stuff where you can see through. It's a stall. You're just using a toilet in front of your classrooms. They even said if you were sitting too close to it, you could smell the shit from it. There's nothing worse than that. So initially when they said it, I was like, maybe it's not so bad if everyone's just like in kindergarten or something. But they just said they're elementary school. Like throughout, this was just a thing they had in elementary school. So what, you're like in the 5th or 6th grade just doing this in front of people?
Like 10 years old. That's too old.
That's my nightmare at that age.
I feel like I've had nightmares like this.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of toilet-based nightmares. And this feels very similar to some of them. I'll have toilet-based nightmares where it's just like where I'm in a bar and I'll go to the bathroom and it will just be like a while ago everyone got obsessed with that, doing the virtual tour of that weird house that was for sale. And in the bathrooms they just had bathrooms that would just have like 2 or 3 toilets all next to each other, not separated by walls or anything. That's what happens in my nightmares.
That's what I dream of at night.
And it's very stressful. And this invokes a similar kind of feeling of panic in me that I don't like. I don't like it at all. Anyway, no, your friends are right. This is not fucking
it's not normal. Obviously,
this is not normal. No.
I would hate for anybody to like have to hear me pee.
Yes.
But then I would hate more but then I wouldn't sit down to pee because I would hate to think that anybody thought that I shit.
Because they can see exactly what your feet are doing.
Yeah, they could just see my legs.
And you don't have time to explain that sometimes you just like to pee sitting down because it's comfortable.
It is more comfortable, especially in the morning.
Yeah.
I just got up. I don't want to have to stand there just swaying back and forth.
I'm lightheaded.
Yeah, of course. I'm anemic. I just got up. This is terrifying. The teachers used it as well. I would hate this.
That's not right.
No,
it's not. I don't. There's no advice to give you for this.
It's just a weird story.
There's no advice to give you to this apart from, I guess, when you have children and you take little Amelia Earhart to school, check that that's not the situation there.
I would say something about it if it was. I'd be like, you're making my child defecate.
This is going to imbue them with a deep sense of shame that in 15 to 20 years, they're going to have to write into a podcast about. And that's not a good way to go.
Imagine how, like, deeply upsetting it would be if you went to the bathroom, number 2, and it was a bit loud. What if that was what if it was loud to any degree? To any degree, because you're in the room with them.
Any degree at all.
You're in the room.
To be honest, it could be very quiet,
if and that would still be
too loud. That would still be too loud.
Especially
noise. If you're doing like silent reading or something, like no, I hate this. It's making me feel bad thinking about it now.
I'd hold it in all day.
Give yourself a nice little UTI.
Yeah, a nice little
Unhealthy.
4th grade UTI. A nice healthy 4th grade UTI.
Sorry, doctor. He's been drinking fruit shoots all day and not peeing because he's scared. Right. We have no advice to give on this question, obviously, but thank you for writing in with it. Shall we get to we've got an actual question.
We got a question
Am I
for the
correct
show.
in saying that we've got an actual question?
We do have an actual question.
For the art segment of our show.
We didn't just give them no advice, and no advice. Though I would have loved to. I would have loved to troll our little listeners for an unremarkable 102 episode. They'd been like, oh, we had the Christmas episode, we had the New Year's episode, we had our first episode back. I wanted to make this one especially forgettable because I'm just tired, you know?
Bear in mind, we've got our 2-year anniversary episode coming up as well.
Oh, when is it?
So in between all the ones we just had.
When's our 2-year?
It's the 26th, I think.
I got so much recording to do. You're lucky I like mixing.
You spend all day doing it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's not a bit.
I look forward to mixing this later. I do. In fact,
that's good.
I'm gonna give myself something to mix right now. Let's give
God.
a round of applause for me liking mixing.
Why?
Come on.
Why?
Let's keep it going. Let's keep the applause going because I really like it, and then it'll start to fade out, and it's gone.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I just like it. I like it.
Do you want to read our last question?
If I must.
If we have to.
Oh, here we go. Oh, this one has a little me in it.
It does.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The subject is just, hey, buckos. And it says, hey, buckers. So here I am in a pickle. For as long as I can... already not doing great here. So, for as long as I can literally remember, I have been creating art. And as an adult, I've learned a variety of mediums, including stained glass, ceramics, and painting. My pickle arises at the fact that I have been going to a small community college in my city and majoring in studio art for about 3 years, and I feel as though because I was going to school, I could pass by without having a job. Recently, though, I feel like I am not gaining anything out of college anymore, and I'm seriously thinking about dropping out and forcing myself to find a way to make money through art. I have gone this far without working a customer service job and really do not want to start in the middle of a pandemic. Anyways, several people have told me that I am a good artist and that they would like to purchase paintings from me, so I know that I can succeed if I put my mind to it. Do you guys have any tips on how to begin promoting yourself as an artist as well as gain a following on social media? Do you think I even need a big following to achieve a decent wage through art? Do I have to purchase one of those sponsored ads on Instagram to get my name and work out there? Love the podcast and Billy's accent. Thanks, buddies. Heart. P.S. I painted a tiny... This is where I come into this. I painted a tiny portrait of a Mitch because I always listen to the podcast when I'm painting. Plus, I thought it would give me clout. It didn't, Lamau. But here it is. And I'm gonna put the photo here. Bang! Right, for the YouTube video. And again, allthespaceinbetween.com if you'd like to see this photo without having to go to the video, find the spot, do all this stuff. You just click a link. It's very convenient. It's something we're doing now. I'm taking it away right now in the video. There you go.
It's a beautiful little picture.
It is.
Beautiful little painting.
Ah, that's me.
Yeah. I know what picture I know what photograph they took as reference for this.
And it's one I've never posted. So what? Wait a second.
So what the fuck?
It's
a drawing of you right now recording this podcast.
It's the latest selfie in my phone from this morning. What?
How would? Huh? But the only way you'd get that angle is my vents.
I knew it. I knew I heard heavy crawling around in my
the sound
vents.
Of brush strokes.
For the canvas. I knew I heard give me a good angle. That's funny. And there I am, handsome little Mitch, being drawn quite well, I should say.
It is quite well.
I should say, but I won't.
I won't give them the compliment that they
because here's the number one. If we're going to get into the advice right now, here's the one. Self-confidence out the window. You got to throw it away. I'm not going to have you feel good about your art if you're going to live off your art, okay? Not going to happen.
Okay.
You got to think you suck. Because you got to do better every time.
You've got to be constantly critical.
I want you to make me look better than I do IRL. And I know you're not God, but you can try. You're not Michelangelo, but fuck, you can give it a go. No, that's not my actual advice. It's good to have confidence as an artist. Not blind confidence. You have to, let's let's work on this in chunks, because we didn't actually discuss this email before we picked it. We're like, art question.
No, we didn't. Yeah.
But let's work it out in chunks. So they are in art college and are thinking about dropping out. Not even art college, just community college, but they say they were majoring in studio art? Mm-hmm. Right, so they're working in a handful of different mediums, but lately they're like, you know what, I think I'm going to drop out and just try and like make a living off of this art shit because I don't feel like I'm benefiting anymore from college.
Okay. Explain to me what community college is.
Community college is just not a university.
Do you go to it instead of university or before?
You can do either, but usually instead of.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha. So like Jake is taking a bunch of classes at a community college.
Okay.
You know.
And you get a degree at the end of it.
You can. Yeah. Or you can just go to like learn about coding or something, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's more lax, it's more laid back. You don't have to move away to go to university. Every place has like their own community college. You go to Palomar over here, you know? It's also like convenient if you're an adult and you have, you know, this other life, but you're working towards something bigger or like a higher education, because you can like take night classes and have a daughter, you know?
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's
neat.
It's good. I like community college. I think that anyone that's ever been to a proper university is a pretentious little... Sorry.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Like a fucker. Like a little chav to me.
It's the same to me.
A little chav fuck to me.
Well, you have to know that I went to the local university,
and
we
what?
don't, and I don't think we have community college. So yeah.
Well, it's fire. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you're just taking classes and it's for nothing. That's what most of my friends did. After high school, they went to community college for X amount of time and thought, well, I tried, and then did something else, which is fine.
Yeah, but that's what most people I know who went to quote proper university did as well.
It's just the college experience, really.
Yeah, they'd go get a whole bachelor's degree and then just be like, well, time to do something totally different.
Right, exactly. And many friends that I know that went to community college, especially at their leisure, have degrees now. So yeah, they're doing it and they're making it happen. So they're in college. Did they specifically say community college? Yes. Yes. A small community. It'd be funny if they didn't. We just had that whole conversation about something they didn't. Here it is. No, they're going to Kent. Fuck. Sorry.
Shit.
And they're majoring in studio art for 3 years.
3 years is quite a long time to go. That's what I was going to say, because usually here, if you do 3 years full time, you're done.
Yeah.
Took me about 5.5, but you know, I dropped out halfway through.
You did.
But the reason that I went back in is because I was
failed
like...
your art.
No.
You came crawling back.
The reason that I went back in was a sense of... I kept getting those horrible nightmares that, like, you know, I have to go back to school and I haven't, fuck, I'm still in high school.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get rid of those, and I thought graduating might help, and it did.
Did it help?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to fucking go graduate or some shit, because I have those dreams all the time.
Yeah, because I never, like, when I left high school, I never went and picked up my certificates for that. When I left college, I dropped halfway out of that.
Oh my God.
So I never had, like, a proper ending to any education. And until I finally, after I dropped out of my second university, went back and graduated at the age of, like, what was I, 25 or something?
Yeah, you're about 25.
The dreams finally stopped.
Dude, we're getting into some therapy shit right now, but that makes total sense to me. I only technically graduated high school.
Yeah.
I finished like my credits at a what is it called? At just a continuation school, an academy, you know? Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly, a bad boy school. Where you just go once a week, you sit in a cubicle, you say, I did the work, they give you the credits.
Yeah.
And even then, I had to like make up a bunch of like really boring elective credits. So I was like half a year late. But I was like, it doesn't matter. I only go once a week. I stopped going to high school forever ago anyway.
Yeah.
So I finished all that stuff, and they were like, are you going to come to the ceremony? I was like, well, considering there's only going to be about 14 of us dorks there, abso-fucking-lutely not. I won't be there. And I do bid you farewell. And I fucked off forever after that point,
Yeah.
especially because at that point was when my agoraphobia started really manifest. So even completing those credits was damn near impossible for me. My awesome teacher, whose name was Mrs. Verrett, and quick shout out, if you listen to the very beginning of my EP, Losing the Interest and Trust I Had in You, you hear her voice at the beginning.
Hey Mitchell, this is Mrs. Verrett, your teacher. We had an appointment today, and again, you didn't show up.
And she's the woman who's like, you need to call me today because you haven't been in fucking class forever. And that was right at the beginning of my agoraphobia.
Yeah.
Little backstory. But, so yeah, I didn't really finish, and I didn't have like an end of high school experience. Sorry, I'm making this about me now, but I didn't have this person that wrote in is like, what do I do? I didn't have an end of high school like experience, and I never actually like even received my diploma. I was like, y'all keep it. I'm not gonna need it. Can't you mail it to me at some point? Isn't that like a good? It's on file, right? It's on file, and then I just left.
Yeah.
I just left. And still, all the time, I'll have fucking dreams where I'm like, straight up, I'm walking around my middle school being like, oh, I can't believe I'm still here. I just need to drop out. Like, I can't do this. I can't, I'm this age. And in the dream, I'm like 30.
Yeah, I was always my current age as well. And you just go back and you're like, fuck, I can't believe I've got like one more module that I haven't handed in. And I have to put on my stupid little uniform. At least you didn't have to put on a stupid little uniform. Yeah, that's the worst part of the dreams for me.
I would dress up.
Oh,
yeah, in a little Catholic girl's school uniform.
Yeah, a little pleats skirt.
A little 30-year-old among their children. I'll say it, children. I'm 30, and I look incredible.
But, oh my god. It's the legs that do it, really.
My thin little hairy legs.
Yeah.
In a little Britney Spears uniform. Fuck yeah.
I'd like to see it.
I'd hate to even have our listeners imagine it. Let alone let you see it in real life.
Alright, so anyway. Half the reason I went back is because I kept having these unfulfilled fucking weird dreams.
I can't believe that helped.
I haven't had them since I graduated.
I hate that because I'm not gonna go back. I can't go back. I'm 30.
You have to find some sense of
closure, right?
Finality and closure in some other way. Then I guess
I will bring that up with Neil. I really will. I just be like, do I have to like fake a ceremony or some shit just to get my brain to close that door? You know, that sucks.
But the second reason that I went back is I guess also I kind of wanted my degree and I loved art and whatever. But the second reason is I was like, I've already spent, God, at that point, £18,000 on it because I'd done 2 years, and it's £9,000 a year. So I was like, I'm already in that much debt. Am I really going to get in that much debt for not even the piece of paper, you know? So I was like, might as well make it a little bit more debt, but also have the thing, you know? So
the only thing more... Sorry, I have a fire joke.
Go for it.
In my brain. The only thing more useless than an art degree is no art degree. You know? Is nothing, right? They're almost touching. They're so close, but the only thing more useless than an art degree is not getting the art degree at the end, right?
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know. It surprises me that you've been there for 3 years because I would assume, I don't know how long your thing's taken you, I would assume you're nearly done. And if you're nearly done,
just polish it off.
I'd kind of verge towards just being like, just finish it then.
Finish
if it's gonna, you're only gonna be there however many more terms, you know. But I will also say, if you're doing an art degree thing, and it is in the time of COVID. I don't know what the situation is like over there in America, but here in England, it's quite bad because most art degrees, like, you want to be in the studio, working with materials, etc., etc. And mostly everyone is working remotely now.
Wow, they're like, don't touch anything someone else touched. Please do it from home.
do it from home. And everyone's like, I don't have an art studio at home. They're like, well, I guess that's on you, and you're not going to get a good grade then.
Wow.
It's like, what the fuck? That doesn't seem fair.
So what happens
Can I get a discount? And they're like, no, it's full price for you to sit in your room.
So what? What the fuck? I sign up for college, or I'm in college during this era for art, and I'm doing like ceramics, and then boom, right in the middle, they're just like, I do it from home. I don't have the fucking spinning table.
Yeah.
And they're so like, let's say a person today signs up for ceramics. They're still just fucking off at home.
Yeah.
Why would you sign up?
You can't go in.
Part of the reason I would ever sign up to ceramics is so I can go there and use your little.
That's most of the reason most art people sign up, because they're like, I want to go in and use the art stuff that I don't have. You know.
Yeah, it's the whole space, the whole studio space.
Yeah.
That sucks. I didn't even think about that.
It does really suck. You know, Charlie, who we both know?
Yeah.
Talented artist friend Charlie is from America, came over to London last year in 2020 to do a year of photography at school here. And about halfway through, got told, like, you can't come in. You've got to do it all from home. They're like, I came all the way to England to do it from home, to take photos in my bedroom. I could have taken photos in my bedroom at home.
So they had to move back home because of that?
I think they technically finished their year and then they moved back home, but like most of the stuff was, they didn't get to like use the photography studios, use the darkroom, the chemical darkroom, do the workshops, whatever.
That sucks.
Like they just had to work from home. They're like, I could have worked from home at home.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So I get why a lot of people would feel like dropping out right now, especially.
Okay.
Yeah. But on the next note.
But we're in the middle about that, like if you're still going to class and things are safe and you're still like utilizing the resources you get by going to college and being in a classroom and using their stuff, then if you're 3 years into it, you're saying polish it off?
I would probably say polish it off if you put this much time into it already.
Unless you're just doing it all from home and you really don't feel like it's worth your time and energy and money anymore.
Yeah.
Then maybe drop out.
Then maybe I would drop out, or at least just be like, maybe I'll come back in a couple years,
right.
when I can actually get the most out of it.
Especially with community college, which is very lenient, and with art, which doesn't matter at all. You can take a couple years off pretty easily. Yeah. It took Billy 7 years to get her degree.
It wasn't 7 years, but it was nearly that.
Yeah, it was 6 3/4 to get her little 2-year degree she was working on.
I think it was 5. I think it was
5 too.
I don't remember. It was so long. I don't remember when I started it. But the next part of the email, regardless if they decide to drop out or not, when it comes to selling art, they say, do you guys have any tips on how to begin promoting yourself as an artist as well as gain a following on social media? Do you even think I need a big following to achieve a decent wage through art? Do I have to sponsor an ad? Blah, 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 blah.
Do you hear this?
What?
Do you hear that?
Oh. Sound of you rubbing your hands together.
I'm rubbing my hands together. I wish it sounded
like Mr.
more.
Burns.
I wish it sounded more. That sound. Yeah, like that. Mine sound too soft.
Clammy is the issue.
Yeah, I need to make them sweatier. I'm rubbing my hands together because I have a lot to say about this, and it's one of my favorite topics. Social media, being an artist, promoting yourself, how to do it, is it possible? The short answer is yes. The long answer is it's hard.
The short answer is yes, and the long answer is no.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe the short answer is no, and the long answer is yes. I like
perhaps,
that. Perhaps. I actually really love that. Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting all energized now at the end of this episode. Yeah, no, that's great. The short answer is no. The long answer is yes.
Okay.
I love that a lot. Yes, it's possible. But it takes a long time and it takes a lot of dedication. As far as social media goes, because we're going to do this one little bit at a time. guess I'll start with social media in general. I recently announced that I was going to no longer use Twitter anymore, and that's true. At the end of this month, I'm going to no longer use Twitter. Mm-hmm. As an artist, that's a big deal. That's using a platform where you've built an audience. So every time I drop merch, every time there's a new song, every time I want to talk about anything, I post it on there, and I get sales, and I get clicks, and I get all that stuff. To turn away from it is it's risky. But I've recently decided to do that just because I don't like Twitter. I actually quite hate Twitter, but this isn't the social media episode. But I don't like Twitter, so I'm going to move away from it. Twitter has changed a lot in the years that I was using it. Social media has in general. And I don't think it's very beneficial. It's as beneficial to artists as it used to be. And I think it's a very, very toxic place to be. So because I'm where I am in my career, I have the opportunity, and I'm taking it, to maybe move away from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing now. And everybody cross your fingers. I'm crossing my fingers that it will actually work. And just a very, very quick plug, one of the things that I'm doing instead of social media to keep people updated on what I'm doing is a mailing list. So if you would like to sign up to that mailing list, it is flatsound.org/mailing-list. That's it, just mailing-list on flatsound.org. Or if you can't get that right, just go to my About page on my website, and it's one of the links there.
There's a link.
There's a link to the mailing list right there. Sign up if you want to know when I drop new songs, or if I got any updates, or if there's a new blog post, or if anything like that. If there's anything like that, that's where I want people to go and to look at it.
I think the mailing list is so cool.
I'll get into why the mailing list is cool in a completely different episode. But with all of that said, that's me where I am in my career currently.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like social media, it is the only option for pretty much every artist, especially if you're starting out.
Especially if you're starting out, and especially, sorry I keep being like, well, in these days, but especially now.
Especially now.
Especially now. I was having a kind of thing maybe a couple of years ago where I was like, I don't have a following, so I'm not going to be able to do jack shit ever, and that sucks. And what I started doing was like going to a lot of artist talks and reading a lot of artist interviews about how they got started and what they were doing and blah, 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 blah. And by and large, all these artists that I was looking at, because I'm a photographer, so most of them were photographers. Photographers that have had award-winning series and are really well respected in the industry, and they're going and lecturing at places and they're getting exhibitions and blah, blah. They only have like 1,000 followers or something online. They don't have big followings. So I was like, that's cool, because I know that you don't have to have a big following then. That's really cool. But the thing that they were doing a lot is that they were utilizing like in real life kind of communities, you know, like I started going to like zine fairs and stuff. Obviously, as soon as I started doing zine fairs got shut down because of COVID, so that sucked.
Of course.
Doing like little collaborative exhibitions and stuff like that. But again, most of that stuff is on pause right now, and most people have pivoted to being online anyway at the moment. Hang on a sec. There is an insane animal fight going on outside my window.
Yeah, I can kind of hear it, but not really.
I'm gonna go check it's not like my cat.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay, we're back.
Hi. Sorry, there were some foxes fighting outside my window.
There was fox blood everywhere.
It was horrifying. They found a chicken, I think.
Don't just say what you were gonna say.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that most people have like pivoted to doing online stuff anyway, and I know that goes for like musical things as well. Obviously, people stop playing shows, so people are doing virtual gigs, virtual exhibitions, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of that takes place through social media. So I've been trying to then re-pivot back to being like, okay, maybe I should get a little bit of a following again, you know? But me and you have talked about this a lot, and you're kind of at the point where your ball is kind of already rolling enough that you can be like, okay, you probably couldn't disappear from the internet altogether, but you can be like, I'm just not on Twitter.
Yes. And even that decision I'm very on the fence about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
it might have an effect, but we're going to hope not too much.
I completely left Tumblr behind and was really concerned about that because at the time I had the most followers on there. I had like 50, 60,000 on Tumblr, and that was really big for Tumblr.
Yeah.
But left it all behind all at once and didn't see any effect at all. My plays only went up since then in those years that I haven't posted. I'm gonna hope that the ball is rolling enough and I could do other things that I could do that same thing with Twitter.
Yeah. Whereas someone who's more at my stage of doing things, if I left Twitter or I left Instagram or whatever, people would forget I existed.
People would forget,
this point,
that's how Twitter works. Like, even the following that I have, which isn't huge, especially on Twitter, it's only like 25, 26,000 followers. On Instagram, it's more. But like when you stop posting at any point, even these really, really, really dedicated fans, like it's not their fault that they forget about you. Social media is structured in a way where it's like, a person will post something, a person that I like will post something and say, oh, that was crazy. Well, I'm back now and I've missed everybody and blah, blah, blah. And it turns out they were gone for like 3 weeks. No posting, no anything like that. And I didn't even know. And it's because it's always the algorithm just feeds you new stuff all of the time that I don't blame anybody that forgets because there's always something else in front of them and you're competing with that all of the time. But if you're using it to your advantage, you want to play that game, it's one of the only viable ways to do that as an artist now. It's not exactly geared toward artists right now, but it's your best choice currently.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to work with it rather than against it right now. I also don't super enjoy being on social media, but I recognize that it's definitely helpful. It's definitely helpful. And it can be really good. Like I've, especially if you're following other artists mostly. I think that's always my like top tip is like follow mostly artists that you actually like and care about, It can be good. It can be good. But so do we think they need a big following to achieve a decent wage through art?
Well, I was not done with the first question.
Okay.
We didn't give any tips on how to begin promoting yourself as an artist or to gain a following on social media, which was their first question.
Sorry, that Fox show really threw me.
The tip from me is that before you start, there has to be this acceptance that it doesn't happen overnight. And if it does happen overnight, be weary of that because those are fleeting supporters. What you want to do, if you want longevity, and you do, you need to build this slow, deep connection with people. And you don't do that by oversharing or being phony or anything like that. You have to be yourself. I know that sounds stupid, but be yourself for a very long time, and these people will become like your friends, These people will get to know you in such an intimate way, but that takes time. You can't rush a good relationship, and you can't rush a good art career. You can't rush good supporters. If you're looking for people that'll just blindly follow you all of a sudden because of some viral thing that happened, those people will forget about you in 2 months.
It's true.
We'll see numbers jump up and then drop to nothing. And that's not what you want because then, on top of that, you'll always be known for that one thing. I'm very, very happy that on my Spotify, there's not one song that has like 30 million and then all the rest of them have nothing. Longevity and consistency in a career is getting those millions of streams spread throughout your catalog every month. And that takes time, and that takes dedication, and it takes passion. And I do believe it's the only way to do that, and time is the number one thing. It takes time. So you have to be okay with that before going in. Don't be discouraged when you start out and no one cares. No one's going to.
Yeah.
They're not going to care for a while. Give them a reason to care and be consistent. Continue making art through the years that people don't give a shit about your art. If you already have people that are saying like you're good and I wanna pay for your paintings and I would like to purchase that, use that as your starting point. It's a great starting point.
It is.
But capitalize on that immediately. Sell to them even if they're your fucking friends and family. But set up a shop, present yourself well, and start doing it right then. I feel that artists today often they decide to be artists one day and I'm going to start to sell my stuff, but like we were talking about in the last episode, they'll price their stuff and they'll carry themselves around in a way where they've already been doing it for 10 years. Do it as a beginner at first. Admit you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know, don't try and boss people around. Don't try and do anything like that. People will see through it eventually, and then they'll lose interest, and then you'll lose interest, and it won't be good. Be a beginner. Become seasoned, actually seasoned. Don't just pretend it's not this like, you know, like fake it till you make it thing. Be kind of a noob at it at first. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being like new at something. But when you jump into it, expect that it's going to take a long time and accept that and start like yesterday. Like start right now. Like start.
That's very good advice. Yeah.
But
the sooner that you start being at the beginning stage, the sooner that you'll start getting to the more seasoned stage.
You want to be seasoned, not pretend seasoned. You want to be seasoned, and people will see that and they'll respect it. So the tips on how to begin promoting yourself online is just to be consistent and post and be engaging. And the ball starts rolling very slowly. Especially today, which is one of the main things I don't like about social media. The algorithm rewards stolen content. It rewards unoriginality, which is why you just see some fucking normies blowing up on a stolen tweet from fucking months ago over and over and over again because they're doing it for clout. Clout will never pay you.
Yes. Yeah.
Clout doesn't pay you, right? So don't do that. And as well as that, a lot of artists that we know will and no one even in particular, because these aren't even like people that I know, just people I've seen online that I've never even really had an interaction with, are very big online, have huge followings because they're funny, they post memes, they do all this stuff, and then they're a musician, and then they're an artist after that point. But you'll always be a meme to these people. Twitter, if you play Twitter's game and you want to just be on Twitter and post memes, that's totally fine. But if that comes first and your art comes second, it'll always come second.
Yeah.
They'll care about the memes. They'll care about that stuff.
It's very hard to like turn that around on its head.
You can do both, but one of them veers a little bit close to gimmicky, and it historically will not help you in your art career. It'll only give you a thing that I've been calling for a long time is the illusion of success when it comes to art, and it doesn't matter. The following count, the whole thing, it doesn't matter. But if you're going to utilize social media, consistency, starting right now, be consistent, and just use the platform and make lots of art and share it with people.
Yeah. Very, very good advice.
Thank you. Long-winded, I know, but I have 3 more hours of that in me that gets even more detailed. That's the short version, you know?
It is, yeah.
That's the concise version. It goes way deeper than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next question is, do you think I even need a big following to achieve a decent wage through art?
Here's my theory that they did actually, like a visiting artist told us this while I was in university, but I very much believe it, and I've spoken to Mitch about it, and I think he also believes it, but it's just this idea that you only need a certain amount of people to really, really like your art and believe in it, and that number is pretty fucking low.
It's not that big.
It's like 20 or something. You need like, it's not that many people. You don't need thousands and thousands of people to, if you had thousands and thousands of people who loved your art with their whole heart, you'd be fucking Tracy Emin. You'd be right. One of the, what most people have is they have thousands and thousands of passive followers.
Exactly. And
who don't
that
care.
Doesn't matter.
No, and a very small percentage of those actually give a shit about the art, So I think the important thing to focus on is who actually is really connecting with this and will actually support me, because that number of people doesn't need to be that high for you to start making some kind of income from it, to start establishing some kind of fan base. You don't need that number to be very high. Obviously, if you cast a wider net, like having a large following, you're more likely to get those people in, but that's not the only way to do it,
Right.
You can work more on having fewer but better connections, rather than just having thousands of like kind of useless ones.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I think.
My thing is that all of that is true. Social media is the reason that they what am I trying to say? One of the main reasons that I liked Tumblr so much is that largely the follower count was hidden. But when Twitter, when Facebook, when Instagram displays that right there, who cares, right? Who cares? But people care. People care for no reason at all, even though it's a fake number, even though it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
30-something thousand followers. It doesn't mean anything. 100,000 followers. I have friends with 300, 600,000 followers. They're broke. It doesn't translate to anything except for feeding that ego for wanting clout, and it doesn't actually translate to anything, right? Why are my friends that have 600,000 Instagram followers broke, and I have 30-something thousand, and I'm making the money that I am? Why? You can be way less relevant than Flat Sound and make a living off of your art. I believe that. And Flat Sound is irrelevant in the sense that I can walk through a grocery store and say, does anyone give a fuck about me? I'm Mitch from Flat Sound, and nobody would fucking care.
No.
And it's very lucrative for me. There's so much room for me to grow and make even more money, and I can go even much less relevant than I am now and pay rent. Do you need a big following? My answer is yes. On social media, you do. You need an insanely big following if they're not very engaging. But outside of social media, the people who just support you, the people that it would sign up to your Patreon if you had one, the people that would, I don't know, sign up to a mailing list. They just want to get updates from you. They just want to know when the next time you're doing something is, or what's going on. Like they actually care. Depending on what you do, you need more than 20. But imagine you had 50. Imagine you had 100. And I mean just like core people. And even if you started at 20, and I think that this part is really important, we're talking about people that not just support you, love what you do. You need a core group of people who absolutely believe in it and love what you do outside of family. Absolutely love it. And my ideology is that if a group of people, no matter how small, love what you do with everything that they have, and they feel so deeply about it, and they're huge fans of it, other people will feel the same way.
That's true.
And that's what the waiting does. If you allow it to grow, Flat Sound started as nothing, and it was a pebble that snowballed into where it is now. Very slowly. I went from so many years of not having a song on Spotify that broke 1 million, and as soon as one song did, it was the next one was just bang, 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 and they just kept hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. That was the snowball effect. That wasn't one thing happening.
Yeah,
that was time happening.
Yes.
And it was luck, and it was patience, and it was hard work. Jordan's dad told me that his dad said this thing that I think about all the time, because I'm like, I feel really lucky, but I work really hard for what I have, but I just still feel really lucky. And he told me that his dad told him that luck is where hard work and opportunity intersect.
Yeah.
And I love that a lot because that really is what it is. I worked and worked and worked, and every so often, because of that work, I'd get a break. I'd get an opportunity. Yeah. Something would happen, but you have to put in that work to allow that to happen. But do you need a big following to achieve a decent wage through art? It depends, but I think no. I think the number is smaller than you think.
Yeah.
Because social media makes us think, I have 100,000 followers on this. I like it. But 100,000 people don't care about you, you know?
Yeah.
If 40,000, I think it's closer to 40,000 now on Instagram. If all those people cared about me, every time I'd make a post, I'd get 40,000 likes. Every time I'd move a T-shirt or do a thing, I'd get 40,000 sales at a T-shirt, you know?
Yeah.
There are varying degrees of people caring. There are varying degrees of people caring, and most of that number on social media are people that actually don't care very much. So you don't need that many.
Yeah.
But that amount has to really care about you. It's not the number on social media.
No.
That number's irrelevant. But you do need people that actually care, but that number is much smaller than you think it is.
Yeah. And social media is a way to get to those people. Yeah. The most relevant way at the moment if you're a small artist starting out. So, you know, it's good to be on there, unfortunately. It's bad to be on there, but it's good to be on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Most people have more fun on it than I do. And I don't want my distaste for my experience with social media and being on it so much throughout my life to like alter anyone that says, well, I don't want it either. Social media used to be very, very fun for me. But just understand that every day I log on there, I get weird comments and messages from people who don't treat me like an actual person.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. It's a very colored experience for you. Yeah.
So for other people, it's probably fine. It's probably just at very most, it's like cringe, right?
Yeah.
But for me, at its worst, it's dehumanizing and sometimes unsafe.
Yeah, toxic not in the vague sense, but in the actual, like, this is having an impact on my life sense. Yeah. But yeah, I think we gave some very good, genuine advice.
I could go much longer on this, but we're over, aren't we?
We are over.
Oh, yeah. You want to go?
I don't want to go, but I must.
Let me run through the last one. Do I have to purchase one of those sponsored ads on Instagram to get my name and work out there? I tried one a couple of years ago, I think.
Oh yeah, you did.
It didn't help very much. No. And Instagram ads have changed a lot even since then. But yeah, that I wouldn't know on that one. But any artist out there listening, especially when you hear about me pulling away from social media, I don't necessarily think you should do the same. You need a way to promote your art. But I will say this, almost every artist that I know online isn't consistent, and they're not actually putting out consistent art. They're not putting out albums. They're not putting out new pieces. They're not being serious about how they present themselves. And on a website, they're not networking with people. They're not setting up the next project. They're not doing they're just on social media talking about it, but not releasing the art. They're talking about the art, even sometimes. Mostly they don't even talk about the art. They're just artists on there that don't create art. Don't be one of those people. And I feel like social media for a lot of people is the anti-art because it gives them that satisfaction of people caring when you don't actually do a thing. Artists will say, hey, everyone, here's an announcement. Don't make the announcement. If it's not done, don't make the fucking announcement. No one cares, right? Because once they make that announcement, I've done a new thing, but you don't have anyone to show, like, no art to show for it. Don't say it. Don't do anything like that because as soon as even some people, you get some likes, they get, hey, that's great. Good for you. You get that little rush, that little pat on the back that says, hey, I did something. No, you didn't. The art isn't done.
And then you don't actually do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you delay the thing. And I know so many artists out there, which is another aspect of why I hate social media. I do believe it is the anti-art. And I know a lot of great artists out there who are just like, I love music. I'd do anything for it. Will you record more than one album every 3 years? One EP, one something? I haven't heard a new song from you in 5 years. And it's the thing you're passionate about. But instead, they're on social media, they're memes and doing the whole thing and blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the anti-art. And many great artists don't even fuck with it. But they're big and they have that privilege to not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. They've already reached the people that they need to reach, and then they can step away from it, kind of thing.
I would never knock anybody for relying on it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a very useful research. I built a career on Tumblr.com. Easy. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not it was easy. It's easy for me to say that. It was Tumblr. I used a Tumblr to build a career, you know?
Yeah.
But it took time.
Yes.
And especially now that things are changing, it's even harder than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to separate yourself from other artists, be consistent. Make art.
Good.
Artists don't make art. Most artists on social
one
media
of the
don't
ones
actually
that
make
does.
consistent art. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be the artist that does.
Good. Very good. I like it. All right. That has to be the end.
It has
of
to be the end.
episode.
This has been All the Space Between. My name is Mitch.
My name is Billy. Once again, if you would like to send us a little email, a little kosher dill pickle for us to crunch into, please do, because we love a fresh one. You can send us an email. Our address is
All the Space in Between at gmail.com. And if you would like to tell your friends about the show or give them a nice little convenient way to find all of our other links, we're on Spotify and Apple Music and just about anywhere podcasts are found. You can send them to our nice little website, which includes all the pictures that if we ever put our picture on the show, it's a good way to go look at them. Our website is
allthespaceinbetween.com.
That's it. We're done.
That's it. And we're done.
We keep having like over hour-long episodes now because I keep going off
we
about
keep
art.
just going on and on.
Oh my goodness gracious. New episodes every Monday. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.